Hello and welcome to my first ever Let's Play. Let's Play Virtual Villagers 1 A New Home. The game would look something like this, but this is an older file. I want to restart. But not yet though. First I want to show you a few things like the help screen. Virtual Villagers 1, A New Home, not to be confused with Virtual Villagers 4, A New Hope, in which you had to fly an X-Wing fighter through this trench and fire lasers, and it's harder than it looks, actually, because lasers don't make noise, even when they're not in space, so you had to send a team of Foley men up there, and it was just a really, really hard game. Luckily, we're playing the much easier Virtual Villagers 1, A New Home. I'll be right back. Let me check to see when it was released. I hope you enjoyed your credits. It was released July 18th, 2006. As you can see, it was created by Arthur Humphrey. It was made by Last Day Work. Sorry if my hand was in the way. Alright. It should be all you need to know. Oh, but there's a lot more. Like the options screen. The default volumes for sound and music are actually right in the middle, but I turned them up a little so that you can hear over my obnoxious voice. You can also turn off the full screen, but this won't necessarily mean that you can make the window the size you want. I'm pretty sure it's not adjustable. Game speed doesn't mean what you think it would. Like, the rate at which events happen on the island, some of them are still the same, some of them change. Like, it takes a villager just as long to do an action on all three of these, but the amount that's done by each, or the amount of experience gained, changes. Also things like the rate at which villagers age, how long they carry their babies, or how long it takes food to replenish. It's determined by these three. It's best to keep it on normal in the beginning of the game. And of course you can also pause if you want nothing to happen. Difficulties, easy, normal, and hard. These only matter at the very beginning of the game, and I will explain what they do, but just so you know, I'm gonna be playing it on hard. And to be sure you know, I'm gonna start it over right now. This is one of the few cutscenes in the game. Here you can see the villagers fleeing their old home by heading straight for it. Or maybe they're just taking one look back, but I find it strange that they're all doing it at the same time. It's like they're heading right for it. And they end up on Isola, spelled like this. Doesn't say it here, but yeah, you'll find out sure enough, that's where they are. Isola. Whether or not you accept the tutorial doesn't make too much of a difference, but it does have you produce a baby pretty early on, so if you don't mind doing that, and if you never played before, then feel free to accept the help. I personally don't mind, and I would love to show you the tutorial. Let's work for me. And there they are. Our starting group. And this is where the boat crashed. It was enough to fling them all the way to the center of the island somehow. Guessing there was exploding gasoline involved. Alright, let's get to know somebody. Of course, there's an easier way to get to know them, and that is the detail screen. You can access by pressing here or clicking D. You can also scroll through them using these buttons here. Sometimes they like weird things like colors. I actually don't know what that does, but if he were to like, say, running, he'd be more likely to run, but he's still a child, so children are notorious runners. But if it said he likes running, then he would keep running even as a grown-up. Nobody else seems to like or dislike anything, which means they won't like anything useful, but they also won't dislike anything that would hinder me. Like, if someone disliked work, they'd end up being pretty lazy and getting almost nothing done. They also mentioned choosing a skill preference. If she had, say, some skill in farming and a lot of skill in research, she would naturally prefer research, but if I were to put the check mark next to farming, she would try to farm more often. So, let's move a villager. It's not gonna let me move it very far. Idowu. Alright. Let's get someone to forage. You, who likes blue. Let's see if you'll... I guess not. Oh, mushrooms, eh? You mean like this? Yep. Keep an eye out for those. They disappear after about a minute, so get a child and grab them when you see them. But since it's only adults who forage, let's grab a responsible adult and get him to forage. This kid's not going fast enough. Let's see if we can... Oh! No! It's gone! If you disrupt anyone who's in the middle of the task, they'll have to start it all over. If they were holding something, like a mushroom, or berries, if you were to pick them up and move them, they would drop the mushroom or the berries. So, if this guy succeeds in getting the berries, then let's not distract him. Ah, he succeeded. So, let's wait until he makes it all the way to the food bowl. Alright. And let's have a woman do the science. And failed. Try again, Kaya. Some of the default names are pretty nice. Some of them happen to look like Japanese names or something that actually exists, but I think they just kind of came up with these randomly, and a lot of the time it was just coincidence. So now, that villager has gotten a little better at research, and the more she researches, the better she'll get. This guy is almost finished putting his bowl of McDonald's Funhouse balls away. And now that he has, it's okay to interrupt him and drag him up here again. Now, if they asked us to look at the technology screen, you can do it by clicking this or by just pressing the T on your keyboard. Alright. The cheapest one is this one, I believe. Yep. Only costs us 2,500 tech points. Next cheapest, I think, is this. 5,000. Then farming. Alright, 6,000. Then fertility. Then science. Then they really want us to work for the medicine. Now, you might not necessarily want to get them in that order, though. Like, if you want to get tech points faster, you might want to make earning this science priority. Or, if the berry bush is low on food, and you want another food source, you could get this first.